All right, what's going on, everybody? Sports expert here, and we are doing our NFL Blockbuster trade video before the trade deadline. So these are 5 blockbuster trades I feel that I believe can happen before the trade deadline. Maybe they're not realistic. Maybe they are. Just some hypotheticals I wanted to put out for YouTube and see what you guys think. So before we start the video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel for more NFL content and NFL trade videos, NFL predictions, NFL picks, power rankings, everything like that, discussions. And yeah, then please hit the post notification bell. I would really appreciate that to get notifications for those videos. Hit the like button. The like button helps our video in the algorithm, so I would appreciate it a ton. It would mean a lot to me. And also commenting would mean a lot to me, as what would be your thoughts on these trades. So yeah, let's get right into it with the first trade. The first trade involves the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Texans. And in this trade, I have the Miami Dolphins acquiring quarterback Deshaun Watson, and I have the Texans acquiring a 2022 first-round pick via the San Francisco 49ers, a 2023 first-round pick, a 2024 first-round pick, a 2022 second-round pick, a 2023 third-round pick, and first-year tight end Hunter Long. So the Dolphins get their guy. They get their man, Deshaun Watson. It's obviously known that Deshaun Watson would waive his no-trade clause for Miami. So Miami, with Tua's inconsistencies, and he's not the problem, but he's not the solution. So the Dolphins do need to go out and get Deshaun Watson. I feel like this is a trade that could be completed by November 2nd. We'll see. But Watson to Miami would be huge. And the Texans get all these draft picks. They get the 3 first-round picks that they wanted. They get a second and a third as well. And then they get a promising rookie tight end, third-round pick, Hunter Long, who hasn't been used too much in the Dolphins offense. They have Mike Gesicki, who's a free agent after the year, but they may try to re-sign him. I don't know if they will, though. But Hunter Long, they could just franchise tag him, I guess. And Hunter Long is a guy that the Texans could use. Their tight end depth is very bleak. Pharaoh Brown is their number 1 tight end. Behind him is Jordan Akins. None of those guys are long-term fits. So getting a guy like Hunter Long could be beneficial. Maybe he can show that potential with his blocking and his, pass catching abilities. So this would be an interesting trade for both sides. I don't think the Texans will get a much better player or premier player from the Dolphins if they're getting all this draft capital. I think this is something that's very realistic in a case like this. So if I'm the Dolphins and Texans, this is a trade I'd agree on. I mean, the Texans will look at other offers from the Panthers, the Broncos, the Eagles. Eagles and Broncos, I don't think Watson wants to go there, so those 2 teams are unlikely. Maybe Carolina, they'll look at offers. And if Carolina has a decent offer, they'll ponder, what do we want, Miami or Carolina? I think Miami's a team that they're going to go with at the end. So give me the Dolphins and them winning in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. So I have Deshaun Watson going to Miami and Hunter Long going to Houston. The second trade here is between the New Orleans Saints and the Cleveland Browns. And I have the New Orleans Saints acquiring wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., running back Kareem Hunt, and linebacker Mack Wilson. And I have the Browns acquiring wide receiver Michael Thomas, left tackle James Hurst, 2022 4th-round pick, and a 2022 6th-round pick. My bad if it says we next to Michael Thomas. That meant wide receiver. Dumb autocorrect or whatever it was. So yeah, the New Orleans Saints get a number 1 wide receiver they can use in their offense, a number 1 running back who will be a backup to Alvin Kamara. What's up with Kareem Hunt being a backup and everything, So Kareem Hunt, he's more expendable in Cleveland because of the emergence of Dearness Johnson and the way they develop their running backs. And linebacker Mack Wilson, they have a lot of depth there, and they probably could maximize value by including him in a trade. So Odell Beckham Jr., his value is definitely down now. He's been more injury prone, but he still can be a number 1 receiver on the right offense, and the Saints might be that offense where he can be that number 1 guy. So give me the Saints here, and Odell Beckham Jr. can be something with that offense. And the Browns, they acquire wide receiver Michael Thomas. They're more of a dink and dunk offense, high school offense, and they like to go under and everything more than deep, and that could actually be perfect for the Browns with Michael Thomas because he's more of a slant guy. He can catch the ball in the flat and everything. That would actually be a decent pickup. Him and Jarvis Landry pairing up together, that would be a nice, boost for both teams. And both players seem unhappy with their current team, so a fresh start might be nice for both players. Left tackle James Hurst, that's just some offensive line tackle depth for the Browns, who's had some offensive line injury this season. including Chris Hubbard being out for the year, so they need another swing tackle. That can be James Hurst. And then they get a 2022 fourth-round pick and a 2022 sixth-round pick because of the value Kareem Hunt gives the Saints. And Mack Wilson, his value is definitely up too. So, and James Hurst, I believe, only has 1 year on his deal. So, that's not too valuable there. But yeah, this is a trade that would definitely be interesting. It would shake up the NFL. And yeah, if I'm a Saints or Browns fan, I definitely would be intrigued with these trades. The third trade I have is involving the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears. In this trade, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars acquiring wide receiver Allen Robinson II, and I have the Bears acquiring a 2022 third-round pick and wide receiver Tyron Johnson. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, they had Allen Robinson before. They let him go once. Maybe acquire him again. They have the cap space. If they want some more weapons in Trevor Lawrence's offense, go out and get a guy like Allen Robinson. It's a new regime, full new regime. They can definitely, if they want to be aggressive, they definitely can take the chance and acquire Allen Robinson. They could even go for Odell Beckham Jr., but Allen Robinson's the guy I'm looking at here for the Jaguars, just because he's already played before. I think the fans would definitely welcome him back. And the Bears, they get a 2022 third, which has a bit of value, and wide receiver Tyron Johnson, a bit of a throw-in, but he's shown some promise. He showed some promise with the Chargers last season, so definitely a guy I wouldn't mind having on the Bears. So if the Bears want to recoup and get more draft picks, maybe they can go out and get another wide receiver, but maybe a Brandon Cooks. But yeah, so you get a Tyron Johnson, maybe use the third to get Brandon Cooks. That means you'd have Cooks and Johnson there. So instead of an Allen Robinson who might be unhappy in Chicago, maybe you can make it work with Cooks. So that could be something I could see the Bears doing. And here in this situation, it's very realistic. So the Jaguars and the Bears do a trade here. Definitely interesting to see. Allen Robinson, not sure if he'll be traded by the deadline. Wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't. So, but I would actually be a little bit surprised just because of the action that NFL trade deadlines give us. I would be a bit surprised if he was dealt. So I would say Robinson doesn't get dealt, but this is something I can see where he goes to Jacksonville and Johnson and a third-round pick goes to Chicago. The fourth trade we have might be the biggest one other than the Deshaun Watson trade. This is definitely an interesting one. The Titans go all in and acquire cornerback Xavier Howard and a 2022 fourth-round pick. And the Dolphins get an offensive lineman, which they've needed for a long time. They acquire left tackle Taylor Lewan and a 2022 fourth-round pick. So, yeah, the Titans had some picks. So, fourth for fourth, whatever. You could argue that's like a little weird, but, it's basically a pick swap. So the Titans will get a corner in Xavier Howard. I don't know if I meant to write 2023 in one of these, but I don't know, whatever. I guess they could. The Dolphins could get a third instead of a fourth, but whatever. You guys can be the judge of that. But the Titans acquire a premier corner in Xavier Howard, one of the best corners in the league. Led the NFL in interceptions last season. He's been like that again this season. So the Titans definitely need help in the secondary, and Xavier Howard would be a huge get for the Titans. So if I'm a Titans fan, I'm hoping for this trade to happen, and they could be the favorites for Xavier Howard. I'm seeing a lot of rumors and scenarios saying Howard could be headed to Tennessee. They could go all in. They're good. They're 5-2. They're the clear leaders in their division, and yeah, give it a chance. So that could definitely be interesting there. And the Dolphins acquire left tackle Taylor Lewan. They need some offensive line depth. Lewan's had a bit of a down year, so maybe you think the Titans would get rid of him. Their offensive line hasn't been the greatest in the world, but it seems like the Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry are adjusting to the offense now, and they can easily get maybe a swing tackle and a trade for like a 6th or 7th round pick to replace Lewan there. Some guy that's putting up around the same production as Lewan this season, go from there. So you're sacrificing offense, but instead you're getting some defense, which helps. So you're getting multiple years of Howard. So, yeah, that makes up for it, basically. And you get the 2022 fourth if you're the Dolphins. So, it's basically a Howard and a fourth for Lewan and a third, I guess you could say. So, yeah, this is a trade I definitely would be interested in as an NFL fan. And the fifth and final trade I have in this video involves the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Detroit Lions. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers going out and getting some offensive line help, which they desperately need a left tackle, Taylor Decker, and defensive tackle, Michael Brockers, to bolster up that interior defensive line, which is a bit weak right now without Stephon Tuitt. And the Lions acquire wide receiver James Washington. It says we again because stupid autocorrect. Safety Terrell Edmonds, 2022 third round pick, and a 2023 fifth round pick. So a fair trade for both sides, I believe. Taylor Decker, he might have to switch to right tackle at this point if he stays on the Lions, but that's why I have a feeling they could trade him, just because he was part of an older regime, but at the same time, they seem to like Taylor Decker. And yeah, I'm not sure when he was extended, if this was this past year or the year before with the old regime, but whatever. But Decker, he could be expendable if they keep Paneso at left tackle, because you don't know how Taylor Decker is going to play at right tackle. Who knows if he's going to play this season, but if he does, it would probably be on a different team. I don't know. And defensive tackle Michael Brockers would be a huge boost for the Pittsburgh Steelers due to their injuries in the interior, and Isaiah Buggs and whoever else is next to him. That's not doing it right now in Chris Wormley. They're not bad players, but they're not great. I think Michael Brockers would definitely be an upgrade there, and gives them a lot more depth, along with Hayward, Highsmith, Watt, Buggs, Tuitt, Wormley, now Brockers there in Pittsburgh. And the Lions acquire a wide receiver, which is much needed, James Washington. This guy is out of this world potential. If you put him on a team that needs wide receivers where they can actually use him, that would be massive. I think James Washington could be an absolute superstar, star receiver. I'm not joking when I say that either. He definitely just needs the right, offense and the right fit, system, everything, team. So yeah. In safety, Terrell Edmonds, he got his fifth-year option declined, so he'll be a free agent after the year, but would be a nice pickup for the Lions. Maybe they can re-sign him on a cheaper deal. Former first-round pick. They're taking a risk, but I think Terrell Edmonds, you can put him at safety. You can put him at the box as a linebacker type / safety hybrid that can stop the run. A 2022 third helps a lot for the Lions too, and a 2023 fifth. They get a lot in return just due to the fact, I think Brockers only has 1 year more left on this deal. It's 1 or 2 more years. I'm not 100% sure. Might be 1 more year. But Decker, a left tackle, offensive linemen are very valuable these days, and he's one that's on a decent deal. He's also, a premier left tackle that's proven, and, it's going to take a lot. So he has 5 to 6 more years left on the deal. So, the Lions aren't just going to give him away for free. So this could be a package they may have to give up. So I appreciate everyone being here. Sports Expert here. Please hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Turn on the post notification bell. Like the video. Comment what you think. I would appreciate that. Sports Expert here. I'm out, guys. Peace.